We are with State Representative Jake Fey from the 27th District, the chair of the Transportation Committee, and I have a big question for you today. There's been a lot of noise about an airport, a commercial airport for Washington. What's going on?
Well, the history is that back in 2019, we passed a bill to set up what was called the Commercial Aviation Coordinating Commission, thinking that this group could come back in a few years and tell us the best place to put a new commercial airport. That was naive, to say the least. And so they went through a process, and of course the process was delayed because of the pandemic. And they came up with some recommended what we would call greenfield sites where there's no existing airport. And they ran into a lot of public opposition for very good reason, because the three sites recommended are very close to Joint Base Lewis McChord and military operations, and how that works for our national defense is very important. And they also missed in taking a look at some of the environmental issues associated with those sites. So that was a mistake on our part, so we're dropping back, and I've introduced a bill that will have a similar group, but a more balanced group that includes more than just aviation interests, to actually look at all the potential sites except for ones that are conflicted by military operations and Boeing Field and SeaTac, which are very troublesome neighbors as it is from an environmental standpoint, and step back and look at the advantages and disadvantages of different airport expansions throughout the state of Washington, and to report back to us. So they're going to come back and report to us annually. I expect this to take a few years to do the thorough job. And really the pandemic was a big reason for lack of communication, and it caught those folks that are close to those sites off guard. And there needed to be more work done to evaluate the sites, because they're all very conflicted at this point in time for good reasons, not because people object to them, but because of the amount of money it would take to build infrastructure to them, the conflict with the military operations at Joint Base Lewis McChord, and then finally the environmental hazards associated with siting something like that. And one of the sites, for instance, is on top of an aquifer. So they weren't able to really spend enough time, came back with some ideas that were not the best, and we're going to step back and we're going to fix that, and we're going to do this in a very logical process of really examining both the needs but also this particular sites.